Welcome back to Atlantic Fellows Conversations from the Climate Action Convening in Bogotá, Colombia. I'm Fanula Sweeney. Today we join Atlantic Fellows on the fourth day of the convening when they visit the local community in ALTO FUCHA to the east of Bogotá. Over to Halil Goga, Associate Executive Director for Community Engagement, Programming and Impact at the Atlantic Institute.
We have come to ALTO FUCHA Natural Reserve. We've been in conversation with the local community and land defenders over the morning. They have been engaged over the last few decades in ensuring that their community is supported, that they're working collectively, and they're providing for the people within the neighborhood. At the moment, there's a lot of interest in the neighborhood. People want to develop around here. There's potential for eco-tourism or tourism, but the community itself wants to make sure that they are taken care of, that they're protected, and that the land is also protected. The community has a close relationship with land and understanding the use of land. We started off in a herb and fragrance garden, which one of the community members has grown over the last few years. It was salvias and lavender and other sweet-smelling fragrances. So she starts every morning there, smelling the scents, having a good start to the day. But more importantly, they have cultivated lots of what they are growing into different types of oils and herbs for different uses. Outside of that, they've also used pieces of land to grow different sorts of foodstuffs to support their needs.
People that speak Spanish or some of it can be here, like in this area. So English-speaking people with Adriana right there. My name is Sergio Chaparro. I am an Atlantic Fellow for Social and Economic Equity and International Coordinator at DEJUSTICIA. We are here today at the ALTO FUCHA neighborhood, where we are learning from the experience of local communities in their struggles to protect the river and the environment in the eastern border of Bogotá. We are here with two of our hosts that generously welcome here to tell us about the struggles that they are conducting on an everyday basis, and we want to ask them a couple of questions. So I would like to start by introducing them. We have Jody and Ivan, and I would like to start asking Jody, what's the importance of being here in this place?
Bueno, en primer lugar, agradecer por el espacio y decir que es un aprendizaje mutuo.
Jody is thanking us for being here because for them it has been an opportunity for mutual learning. They are learning a lot from the fellows that are attending this convening and from the work that they are doing from different places of the world. And they want to tell us about their own story of how the community is undertaking activities for the environmental management of the risks that these communities are facing, and how there are sustainable alternatives to protect the river, to protect the environment, and to avoid the urbanizations of the border of the city. I would like to ask Ivan to speak about the specific risks that you are facing in the ALTO FUCHA communities.
Bueno, muchas gracias primero por la invitación, por venir a nuestro territorio. Agradecimientos particularmente.
Ivan wants to thank the Justicia and the Atlantic Institute for being able to visit the ALTO FUCHA territory and taking into account the struggles that they are undertaking in this side of the city. The risks that they are facing are several. There is a risk of lack of protection of the environmental areas that are at the border of Bogotá. There is an attempt to expand the city beyond the current borders, putting at risk the environmental reserves, including the ALTO FUCHA River and the forest in the border of the city. There is a second type of risk that has to do with potential extreme events, including mass removal of the places that they are inhabiting and inundation due to precipitation or the flow of the river in the neighborhood. So they are building community alternatives to adapt themselves to this reality and to make less vulnerable the territories they are inhabiting. There is a third type of risks that has to do with the decisions that the public administration is taking about how to do urban planning in these lands. The way the local government is planning to expand the city is not considering the environmental risks and the basic ecological structure of the city. So for them, it's very important to raise awareness about the central role of ecological planning as part of the urban planning of the city.
¿Nos vamos?
Los asiáticos alcanzan a entender.
Are you understanding? Yes.
Ok.
Por favor, sigan a Benji, que es el de morado.
At the moment, we are having a group discussion with Atlantic Fellows in the middle of a forest here at Alto Fucha. This forest has a beautiful view of Bogotá. It is in the eastern part of the city and very high area, around 2,800 meters above the sea level. We can see the whole city. For Ivan and the community here at Alto Fucha, gardening has been a very important activity. They are putting in practice sustainable gardening and they are training other people in the community to do that. For them, this has been a very important activity for enhancing the cohesion of the community. Sustainable gardening has allowed them to connect with other people in the neighborhood. That's also what keeps them connected in order to do the other activities that they are doing for defending their own lands.
Aquí les voy a pedir que hagamos un círculo.
Let's make a circle.
Un círculo lo más redondito posible, por favor.
The best circle we can do. Round circle.
Bueno,
Make a circle.
esta parada que vamos a hacer en este momento es una parada muy importante porque este es justo el momento previo al ingreso al río Fucha. En Bogotá no existe otro río que atraviese.
Be careful here.
A todas las personas que vienen de diferentes lugares a visitarnos y a conocer nuestro proceso.
We are always open and with a lot of affection and love for everybody that comes from all parts of the world to our territory.
Y aparte de, digamos, del proceso que llevamos acá, que es un proceso de lucha y resistencia por nuestro territorio y por nuestra vida.
What we're doing here is a process of fight and resistance for our territory, but also for our life.
Jodi's family welcomed us in their home here at Alto Fucha, where they cook for us a delicious ajiaco, a typical Colombian dish. Ajiaco is a kind of soup made of potatoes. It has also chicken and capers. Some people eat it with milk as well. It's one of the most typical dishes of Bogotá. Jodi's grandmother comes from Boyacá, north of Bogotá. Her parents are from Bogotá. They were born here. They were not involved in community organizing or environmental organizing until 2015, when they received a notification from the local government that they had to abandon Alto Fucha because it was environmental risk area. They were very sad with those news and very worried because for them, building a home in this place took a lot of work. And for them, that's the only thing that they had and they couldn't afford to leave this place. So they started a process of community organizing for protecting the river, protecting the environment, and for finding community solutions for adaptation in this place to reduce the risks of mass removal and other environmental risks that Ivan told us about. Jodi and Ivan, we are really grateful for your hospitality, for trusting and welcoming us here at Alto Fucha. It has been very important for us to learn from your struggles, from the community activities that you are doing here bravely to defend the river, to defend the environment. So just wanted to say thank you so much and give you a final word.
Muchas gracias a toda la audiencia. Esperamos poder.
Jodi and Ivan just said that they want to thank the audience for this opportunity to speak to all of you about the process that they have here at Alto Fucha. They are going to keep the good fight for protecting the environment and finding community-based solutions to climate change. Oiga, muchas gracias, en verdad.
No, de verdad,
No,
gracias.
tremendo. No, ahí espero haber interpretado bien como la palabra.
My name is Mafoko Pamani. I am based in South Africa. I'm from the Atlantic Fellows for Health Equity South Africa. I work in the area of environmental health, specifically climate and health. I work with communities that are impacted by air pollution. So my work involves getting health professionals to support community struggles. I'm here with Nancy, who is from Atlantic Fellows for Health Equity Global.
Hi everyone, I am from Peru. I live in Lima. I am nutritionist and my passion is to work with topics like maternal and child and mental health and to work with community health workers too because I think that they are a strong population.
So today we were in ALTO FUCHA, a community in Bogotá up in the mountains that's working to protect the biodiversity there, specifically the river as well as the forests. We were able to interact with some community members there, a lady that has a herbal garden, a beautiful herbal garden that has amazing herbs, spices, and she is able to make essential oils out of the herbs. Some of us were able to purchase the herbs and soap. Most of the oils are healing for different ailments, and it was really a beautiful experience breathing the fresh air, being in the trees, but also realizing how much the community has to do to defend biodiversity and to ensure that their habitat is not infiltrated by so-called development.
I really was very impressioned to see how is the power of one community when work together like a team. Because today, the leader of this community mentioned that they had to fight with the other business, with the other enterprises, because they want to destroy all the environment closer to your house. They fighting like a neighborhood and they win, and now they have a beautiful school for children and they live in a beauty space every day, training more people in that community about how we can do better our climate change. And other thing that was important is that exists many coincidences with the rural area in Peru. Peru and Colombia is so close, only 3 hours for flight. It's very same the reality that we have with them, especially in the highlands of Peru, in Cusco. And this is very helpful to me because if Colombia do that, I think that in Peru we can introduce this method to adapt and to create more experience favor to the climate change.
Today we had a discussion about how as health equity fellows we can come together to form a community of practice for climate and health. We're really excited about finding ways of collaborating around this area. We are of the view that health professionals need to be part of the larger discourse on climate change and the just transition. They need to be part of the political conversations, which often they shy away from. So we're hoping that Atlantic Fellows are going to build a movement of health professionals that are focusing on climate change and health, but also the just transition.
Well, I think that this experience in Bogotá was very good, not only for the people that I had the opportunity to meet in this country and to reconnect with. I think that is a good space to connect with new problems and to create new solutions about that and involve more of the community and actors in the local government and in other spaces that take decision, and it can be a big support for all this new process for us.
Great, Nancy. I think it's really been an amazing week here in Bogotá. Today was really the highlight for me, meeting community people that are active and just being in community. We got to go down to the river and actually step in the river, and it was a therapeutic, very cathartic experience surrounded by the beautiful mountains.
My name is Georgia Nicolau. I am from São Paulo, Brazil. I'm also a fellow for social and economic equity. I run an organization that is building up power from communities. So Our Citizen Innovation Lab, it's a place where people can come together and create solutions for climate change and also care economy, arts and culture, but all interrelated to social justice. I'm really passionate about collective action. What Procomún has been doing the last 8 years, it's an organization I co-founded, but it's also my activism, it's my passion. It's really how you do these invitations and what kind of environments do you create for people to come. I always go back to the care at the center, because to have food, to have a nice space, to have skilled people that are facilitators, people that will help make synthesis out of that, and to have a methodology where people actually feel that their knowledge is as valuable as anybody else in the room, that is really effective. In our evaluations, what we get a lot is people saying, how they felt part of something bigger. Because I think one of the effects of the decollectivization of the action is that we get so lonely and we think that we are powerless and that there's nothing we can do that can change. And when you actually go to a space, to a lab, where you receive such an invitation and you're actually valued for the knowledge you're bringing, but you're not there just to discuss, you're there to put your hands on. That's our approach. We are prototyping. You actually feel that it's possible. And the result is that you get that transformation back to your other groups, because everybody is part of networks and groups. That means that we can build solutions within our communities, and that can turn into a policy making, or can be a project, or can be a social enterprise.
That brings us to the end of this podcast. Thank you for listening. Next time, we join Atlantic Fellows on the 5th and final day of the convening, as they travel up into the Andes above Bogotá for a hike in the Páramo, a high-altitude ecosystem rich in biodiversity. I'm Fionnuala Sweeney, and you've been listening to Atlantic Fellows Conversations from the Climate Action Convening in Colombia. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it on and subscribe to the series wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to learn more about Atlantic Fellows and their work for equity, please go to our website at www.atlanticfellows.org.